Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And a very good evening to you and welcome to Newsline Live, although today is a recording. We're on location on the outskirts of Colombo. We're joined by members of the Mahasangha at this very important juncture in Sri Lanka's contemporary history. And I'm delighted to be able to welcome the Most Venerable Dr. Omalpe Sobitha Thero and the Venerable Dr. Akuratiye Nanda, who is the Chancellor of Sri Lanka's Runu University. Very good evening and warm welcome both Venerable Sirs. May I ask you at the beginning, Venerable Dr. Omalpe, Sri Lanka is experiencing a terrible time at the moment in our contemporary history. We've never seen anything quite like it. But the real crisis appears to be, the beginning appears to be the fact that we have no US dollars. We have no dollars for our petrol, for our diesel, for our medicines, and even some essential foods. This has led to the people ultimately ending up on the streets. What, in your view, what should be done immediately and leading to a medium-term and a long-term solution? What should be done about the dollar crisis?
Thank you, Mr. Faraz, for giving us the chance to discuss the present situation. So, once we talk about the crisis and solution for the crisis, there are two solutions: the short-term solution and long-term solution. And then, according to the Buddhist way of realization or Buddhist way of solution, there is a method. One should go through the root cause of the problem. Problem is very visible, but if you try to solve the problem, you must understand the root cause of the problem. The poverty is the results, as what you have said. No dollars, no foreign income. Then root cause of this particular problem is, according to our own viewpoint and experience, the political mismanagement. Political mismanagement means corruption. So the corrupted politicians' selfish activities were the root cause of this particular problem. Therefore, when we find out the solution, we should find out the way out. Therefore, we have to address this particular problem through this manner. The root cause is to be changed, or root cause to be abolished.
So we need to abolish corruption and
mismanagement of the political situation.
Now, the whole problem, Venerable Doctor, appears to me that once the sovereign people of our country cast their vote, thereafter the people who are elected, whether they are at parliamentary level or at the provincial level or at the district level or even the local level, they forget the people's mandate. They are the people's representative. It is a big responsibility. It is no sooner they enter and take their oath, they have forgotten about it.
Correct.
And how do we dispel this this bad practice of corruption?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
At first, people must be disciplined and they should be trained with morality. And then each and every person is having their own weak point, what we say defilements. Each and every human being is having, we believe, until arahantship, that means until the eradication of all the defilements and filthy thoughts, the people are having such disability or weakness, weak points. And then in this matter, the people must be wise enough to find out that select their leaders, proper leaders, and then this is the very, very prevailing problem. Whatever a person is appointed by the political party, then he should be given votes by the voters.
And you're touching on the exact point that I was about to ask you. There's no good blaming the people, because all the political parties, they give you a menu card of people whom you can elect at different levels. But this menu card doesn't ever seem to change. Sri Lanka is very myopic in nature. Yesterday's murderers are today's legislators.
Correct.
And the public, it isn't that they have forgotten, but the public have no other choice.
Yes. That means political parties must exercise democracy well. Then democracy and also should understand what is the meaning of people's mandate. And then political parties are thinking to gain power. The other parties are trying to maintain power. And then actual meaning, what we have had, we have understood. These political parties are trying to gain power in order to gain their own selfish ideas. That means
their own agendas.
They don't have proper agendas how to develop the country, how to develop the political system or economic system. There is no proper plan for them, but their only plan, only intention is to gain power and share the wealth and share the profit. That means profit means
of corruption.
Of course, that is the corruption.
So, Venerable Doctor, I say to you that when it comes to the benefit of our beautiful nature and our wonderful people, there is no planning. But the same people who seem unable to plan for the development of our country and our people, the same people have got wonderful plans for corruption.
Yeah, that is their ability, and also they are actually very cunning in that case. You know, there is a Sinhala saying, Horunta Gana Devi Nuvana Tibe. That means those robbers and thieves are having very high level of intelligence. So that intelligence they use to corrupt, for to practice and continue their corrupted situation, corrupted ideas. So then they are, of course, most of them are very intelligent people. But the thing is, they were not armed with proper moral activities, proper moral behavior, and no any such spiritual guidance they are having with.
Now, at the same point, and this may be contentious, but on Newsline Live, we ask the most difficult questions because we know that our guests are in a position to answer them. So, on that line, Venerable Doctor, let me ask you this. If we take the campaign of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the Rajapaksa family years before, most of their political activity, especially with the last president, this is President Gotabaya, his campaign started before the campaign started, and he went around all the temples all around the country. Do you believe that in this whole process, that the clergy that he went to visit, did they not sit him down and tell him, look, watch out for corruption? Because if you remember, President Gotabaya had an overwhelming majority. And he promised the people of Sri Lanka something that we all desperately needed, which was a return to the security provided by the end of the war against terrorism. So for a number of years, we were quite comfortable because we had security. We knew that there won't be terrorists running around here, there, and everywhere. And therefore, do you think that there has been a failure on the part of all these places that he visited, all our priests, our clergy? Was there a failure on their part to point out to him, you know, you need to be straight and you cannot be corrupt because the people have given you or will give you outstanding vote? What happened? Why did it all go down the pot?
Yeah, there is such controversy. At first, of course, the people, all of us, are very happy and satisfied with the practices of those political leaders because they could eradicate that terrorism. And then there appeared peace and harmony in the country, and also among all those ethnic groups and religious groups. We are exercising very well with amicable friendliness. So then later on, their policies, maybe they have had an idea, those political leaders. We are the people who save this country. We are the people who save this country. Therefore, we are having full right to
help ourselves? To disregard tender processes?
Then
and to bring their henchayas?
That is why. Then they have had such an idea. We are having full authority to rob the country. Or rob or improve and develop their own self. These national wealth are belong to us. This country is belong to us. Then I can do whatever I want. That is why the people have given us such majority votes. So that mandate is given to us. This is the misleading idea created by themselves. Actually, very sorry to say, the monks had that confidence on these political leaders. Not only monks, the most of those people in the country, they kept belief on them. These people actually have done such a wonderful service to the country. Therefore, it is our gratitude. To pay gratitude, we have to give them votes. And we make them our leaders. Therefore, with this particular mentality, they came to power. And then second term was failed. That means Mahinda Rajapaksa's second term after 2010. It was utterly failed. That is why he could not come back to the power. Then those people cunningly, they decided not the big brother, but the small brother. Then he saw to people, they saw to the people, Mahinda is corrupted. We don't want take him to the power. Then don't worry, this is not the person to be given power, but his brother. His brother is war hero. Gotabaya Rajapaksa is a war hero. Then people believe, okay, this man is not corrupted. He is not that practical politician, and also he can be believed by the people. He is having such a clean and neat characteristics. That is why they came forward to take this one into the power. And monks, on the other hand, monks are actually the same cut of the normal society. Monks also had that belief, that confidence. These people come to the power and they will develop the country. Actually, all of us were deceived.
And deception seems to have played a big role, according to the Newsline chat this evening. Let's take a look at this evening's primetime news headlines, and we'll be back to discuss morality, the middle path, and Sri Lanka great again.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Is the Rajapaksa family in Trincomalee? Senior DIG Deshabandhu Thennakoon assaulted. Were prisoners used to assault peaceful protesters? Attorney General's advice to the IGP. Gota Go Gama protest site rebuilt.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And welcome back to Newsline Live. Although today is a recording, we're on location on the outskirts of Colombo. We're joined, of course, by members of the Mahasangha, and we're terribly grateful to them both. Now then, perhaps I can ask the Chancellor of the Rohini University, who's here with us. Thank you very much, Venerable Doctor. Why are the youth of Sri Lanka out there at Golf Face Green?
Yeah, why?
Why? Why are they there? What are they doing? Why aren't they in your university? Why aren't they studying?
Yes, that is a relevant question.
Yes.
What we have been experiencing today. Since because we have been experiencing that political unrest and economic unrest. And students, those who pass out from the university, they are not getting a proper job. Or though they want to serve the country, but there is no real program for the development of the country.
The students these days, the youth, appear to be far more knowledgeable in world matters than in the past.
Yes.
And I saw a board at Golf Face and elsewhere as well. It said, you messed with the wrong generation. You messed with the wrong generation, a board. Do you think that's true? Because this generation is...
It is. It's unlike in the past. Now they are more educated, since because this social media and that all the facilities they are experiencing, unlike in the past, though they have, they are living in a global village, so they know what happened in other countries.
What I did notice, of course, Venerable Doctor, is that there is a huge amount, even though there is adversity, within that adversity, I find a whole lot of unity and togetherness. I didn't see any signs of racism or communalism. The people were all as one in this adversity that we are facing, which is the dollar crisis. Don't you think that the time is now right to capitalize on this feeling of change, real change, and for certain matters to be put in which will address the Venerable Dr. Omalpe Sobitha's concern about corruption? For example, would you welcome a change, a real change in our rules to ensure that all asset declarations of public officials, not only members of parliament and provincial councils and village councils and Pradeshi Sabhas or whatever, but every public official should put out online for everyone to read and digest and discuss, if they want to, all the asset declarations online? Do you welcome such a move towards greater transparency?
Of course. Although we are experiencing great trouble, in which we didn't have any experience before. But now, this is the first time I have seen that crisis in the 1971, 1983, 1989. This is very much different from those crisis period. This, as you rightly mentioned, that this time there is no race, religion, or any other differences. All are become one brotherhood, and they are very much disciplined, and they are very romantic, cultured, and artistic manner. They are
But they're romantic in the interest of our country.
Yes, of course, that's what I am saying. This is there is no single incident last 32 days.
Exactly.
That means they have well maintained their discipline.
What do you say about the police or the lack of policing? We had these protesters come out of temple trees through the front gates and attack the peaceful protesters on the other side of the road. And they then proceeded from there to Golface. Not once did our police or the armed forces use a water cannon. They didn't use tear gas, nor did they shoot in the air. This group of thugs, perhaps hired, went on to Golface and created mayhem.
That had been done by, that had been done by politicians, the Prime Minister himself and the ministers.
So don't you think, Reverend Doctor, that the police, the Inspector General of Police, should issue a statement and tell the public, the Republic, the people of Sri Lanka, that he is going to investigate this. If there is any evidence of incitement to violence, that he will not hesitate in arresting and charging and producing in courts anybody and whoever is
Quite
responsible.
rightly, it has to be done. If he is a correct, honest gentleman and
And a professional.
but unfortunately, those policemen are responsible. Those who are responsible for that area. Since because that in the morning papers, it has been mentioned that throughout the country, people are gathering early Gahamandire.
So they could have stopped all these buses.
Of course.
10, I counted, just me and my colleague, my driver, we counted 10 buses, 10. That's at least 520 people if you don't overcrowd it. They were burnt, but all those 10 were not from Colombo. They were from outside depots.
Yes.
So surely the police should have stopped them from entering Colombo.
Of course, in the morning, that newspaper said from Araligaha Mandira, they are going to go Golface. What President can't do, they are going to solve the problem. So that's what their slogan. So then, therefore, the police officers who are responsible for that area should be taken that steps, as you rightly mentioned, that the water cans or any tear gases or that barriers. When the university students comes, they have very strong barriers.
Yes,
but
with, some with spikes.
Yes, and that Golface Hotel, that is very correct. I mean, securely they can stop there, since because both sides they are covered big buildings.
Yes.
So therefore, I think we as a general public, we should go to the police and complain, not to escape from this corrupted matter, because they encourage people to do so.
Venerable Doctor, in the United States, we had a similar situation in the US, and they are now in the process of perhaps ending up with charges against one Donald Trump, the president of the free world, if you like, the most powerful man in the free world. Really? Do you think that's going to happen in Sri Lanka? The most popular politician in this country, who is known, this country has known, in whatever way we say it. Do you think that there is a situation warranting at least a full investigation into the role of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in the days before and leading up to yesterday's debacle?
Of course, we endorse that, and we are going to complain it to the police station, or not the police station, police headquarters, to investigate this matter and get that damages has been from their private property. not from the government. The buses and the houses are all the Sri Lankan.
Well, that's 10 buses. I think they cost
More
about
than
5 million or 8 million a piece.
But what about the other houses?
What about the houses? There's a couple, I saw a clip, they said, look, we are non-political. Why did they burn our house? Just because next door they live to some politician.
Yeah.
Now, in between all this, Venerable Dr. Omalpe Sobitha, I want to ask you, very simply, and as a Buddhist monk, as a citizen of Sri Lanka, what happened to the middle path?
As much as possible, we are trying to, and we are trying to remain in the middle path. At first, I should say, as what Venerable Dr. Akuratiye Nanda Thero explained, the unforgettable miracle is appeared in the country because of this particular struggle of the youth at Goldface.
And what is that miracle?
That is the unity among the ethnic groups and religious groups. And if the society, if the protest is the lake of mud, there appeared certain lotuses. That is this unity. Every day we could see all those religious people with the participation of all those religious leaders and those monks and clergy. They are carrying out their protest. And then concerning the middle path, we are appearing in the center as the monks. Nowadays, Venerable Dr. Akuratiye Nanda Thero and also Venerable Wappa Thero and many other leading monks in the society, in the monastic system, with the guidance of most venerable prelates, what you call Mahanayaka, Atipuja Mahanayakas of that 4 Mahanayakas from Siam Nikaya, Amarpura Nikaya and Ramaya Nikaya. With their blessings, we are carrying out our duty. We are acting in the center, in the middle path, in between the government and the people, particularly those who are agitated with the corrupted manner and those policies of the politicians. And then we are trying to solve the problem, we are trying to extinguish this fire, and then according to the Dhamma, we are trying, and particularly we are uniting, we are united, not only with the monks, but also with the other religious leaders. Yesterday, we had very important discussion with the Cardinal of the Catholic Church, is it? Yeah. Catholic Church, the Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit, and then many other Maulavis, and also the other Hindu priests.
And if I add something for that,
yeah.
And even recent past, these 4 prelates had been issued 4 statements unitedly. It didn't happen for last 10 years or so, both unitedly. This small period of time, they issued 4 statements advising to the government to how to solve this problem step by step. So that also remarkable.
Yeah. Indeed, it's very remarkable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So then, just as a flag, we are carrying, we are holding this flag, the united message issued by the 4 Mahanayakas office. We are appearing in this particular problem to solve according to the Dhamma and according to the justice, the just solution. So still we can say we are not extremists, we are not supporting to any other extreme parts, We are supporting to the middle path. We are still in the middle path. We are trying our best.
On that note, thank you very much for being on Newsline. We much appreciate your time. You know we're very busy. But that's the way it was on Newsline Live in the company of the Venerable Dr. Omalpe Sobitha Thero and the Venerable Dr. the Chancellor of the Rohini University. As we end, let me say, as I always do in the last few days, Sri Lanka, we are amazing, aren't we? God bless you.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
TV1 රැස් විහිදෙන ජීවිතේ
තනිව යන්න බෑයි කියන කාරණේද අධ්‍යාපනයේදී
මම කියන්නේ ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් සිදු වෙන දේ.
අපිට රුසියානු සපත්තුව මේ ලංකාවට දාන්න බෑ ඒක ලොකුයි. චීන සපත්තුව සීන සමාජවාදී ඒකත් හරියන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක මේ කකුලට පොඩි. අපි අපේම සපත්තුව මහ ගන්න ඕනේ කියලා.
එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ මානව හිමිකම් කවුන්සිලය කියලා කියන්නේ මානව හිමිකම් පිළිබඳව ලෝක පාර්ලිමේන්තුව.
අපි පරිසරය ගැන දෙකක් තිබුණා.
මම ඉස්කෝලේ යන කාලෙත් මේ